Manzi News in English.
This is Radio Imanzi, broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa. The headlines. Ahead of the 6th European Union and African Union Summit, President Paul Kagame today met with the Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis and King Philippe of Belgium. Finer Green has announced it will be supporting Rwanda's national cycling team in the upcoming Tour of Rwanda cycling competition and also invest in different renewable energy products. A new COVID-19 testing device has been launched at the main airport on the Tanzanian island of Zanzibar. Hong Kong's hospitals reached 90% capacity today and quarantine facilities were at their limit. Now the news in detail. Ahead of the 6th European Union African Union Summit, President Paul Kagame today met with the Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis and King Philippe of Belgium. President Paul Kagame is currently attending the 6th European Union African Union Summit in Brussels. The two-day summit brings together leaders from both institutions, heads of state and government representatives from respective member states for talks on building greater prosperity. The discussions will revolve around different topics, including peace, security and good governance, health systems and vaccine production, growth financing, agriculture and sustainable development. Finer Green has announced it will be supporting Rwanda's national cycling team in the upcoming Tour of Rwanda cycling competition and also invest in different renewable energy projects. With headquarters in France, Finer Green is a financial advisory boutique specialized in the energy transition and one of the most powerful investment banks in the world in the renewable energy sector. A team of 7 professionals from the company's various offices across the globe, led by the founder and chief executive Damien Ricordo, will support the national cycling team in the forthcoming Tour of Rwanda, slated for February 20th to 27th. The elite competition is expected to bring together 19 teams, both African and international. Finer Green and Hydroneer East Africa will also be involved in the creation of an academy in Rwanda whose aim is to continue training future cyclists so that they can compete in the 2025 UCI Road World Championships. Besides involvement in sports, Finer Green is committed to investing in Rwanda in partnership with Hydroneer East Africa for a number of long-term projects. As people across the country continue to speculate on rising prices for various products, the Central Bank of Rwanda says market prices have not risen sharply in 2021 as the share of consumer food prices has not risen. This was echoed by the governor of the Central Bank of Rwanda, John Rwangombwa, in a press conference at the quarterly meeting of the Financial Stability Committee to assess the functioning of the sector, its stability, new challenges and solutions to the crisis. Governor Rwangombwa said prices would increase this year as compared to 2021 results. The results of 2021 were much better compared to 2020. During 2022, prices are expected to rise by 8%. More than 50 families have lost their houses due to strong winds in Nyagatare district. Those affected have appealed to the authorities for assistance, for most of them have no shelter. Winds blowing across flat plains of Nyagatare lifted roofs off the houses and dropped them about 500 meters from the houses. The worst affected area is Tabagwe sector. The Nyagatare District Administration has received reports of 60 disaster-stricken families, mainly in Karangazi, Rwimiyaga, Tabagwe and Rwempasha sectors. In addition to the houses destroyed, many hectares of crops have been damaged, but the extent of the damage has not yet been identified. Residents of Chato sector in Nyamasheke district say they are happy to be involved in the construction of new premises for sector offices after realizing the old premises were falling apart due to poor maintenance. The old premises do not have enough space, and this led to poor service provision by the local administration. The sector office, which is being constructed by the community itself, will be a pride of the sector due to the fact that the idea came from the community itself. The community contributed in a variety of ways. Every citizen of Chato has contributed money to make the project a success. The Executive Secretary of Chato Sector, Ndanga Janvier, says the idea has been put forward by the people to make the sector office more up to date. The Nyamasheke District Administration has so far provided a grant of 5 million with a total contribution of 8 million from the community.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan hailed the European Union for lifting financial sanctions that it imposed on the Republic of Burundi almost 6 years ago. The Tanzanian president in Brussels, Belgium, where she held talks with the president of the European Union Council, Charles Michel, called upon the European Union to continue supporting Burundi, saying that a stable Burundi is good for the Great Lakes region, good for the European Union, and good for the world. A new COVID-19 testing device has been launched at the main airport on the Tanzanian island of Zanzibar. Passengers arriving at the Zanzibar International Airport are now being tested using a scanner to detect the virus instead of having to provide nose or mouth swabs. This technological advancement is a result of research costing about $1 billion that was conducted by the government of Abu Dhabi. Zanzibar's health minister said the country had not registered any COVID-19 cases since January, and the authorities were happy to embrace any technology that would ease pressure on travelers. Zimbabwe is reopening all of its land borders as coronavirus cases in the country continue to decline. The country's borders with Botswana, South Africa, Mozambique, and Zambia had only been opened for commercial traffic and returning residents since January last year. Information Minister Monica Mutsunagwa said they had approved the reopening of land borders for travelers with valid COVID-19 PCR test certificates. All persons entering Zimbabwe must have undergone a valid COVID-19 test not more than 48 hours from the time of their departure to Zimbabwe and fully vaccinated. The Vatican big fraud and extortion trial will resume tomorrow after exposing some unseemly realities of how the Vatican operates. One of Pope Francis' top advisors brought in members of the Italian Secret Service to sweep his office for bugs and commissioned intelligence reports from them, completely bypassing the Vatican's own police force in the process. The reported actions raised some fundamental questions about the security and sovereignty of the Vatican, since he invited foreign intelligence operatives into the inner sanctum and then outsourced internal Vatican police spy work to them. Belgium planned to send 25,000 soldiers to the Democratic Republic of Congo in March this year to assist in the peacekeeping mission in the country. This was announced by the Belgian Ministry of Defense as a response to the request made in October 2021 by DRC. The DRC appealed for military and medical expertise because the country's health system has been disrupted by the Ebola epidemic and armed groups who have taken over certain districts in the country. Hong Kong's hospitals reached 90% capacity today, and quarantine facilities were at their limit. The city struggles to snuff out a record number of new COVID-19 cases by adhering to China's zero-tolerance strategy. To ease the strain on the city's healthcare system, officials said they will take a different approach to hospitalization and isolation policies and allow some patients to be discharged sooner. The move comes amid reports of patients being treated on beds outside a hospital in the city. Hong Kong reported 6,116 new coronavirus infections today. The NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says NATO is worried Russia could be trying to create a pretext for an invasion in Ukraine. Kiev and Russia-backed separatists traded allegations of an escalation in fighting today after the United States claimed Moscow was seeking a pretext to invade. The United States dismissed reports that Russia was withdrawing troops from its border with Ukraine, instead accusing Moscow of sending as many as 7,000 more soldiers. Meanwhile, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that Moscow would send Washington a reply to United States proposals on European security, with tensions between the two countries soaring over Ukraine. Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi. Rwanda Stock Exchange market report of today. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 2,292,400 Rwandan francs worth of bonds traded in two deals on the fixed income market, and 459,000 Rwandan francs from 10,200 shares traded in one deal on the equities market. I&M Bank closed the counter at 45 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 459,000 Rwandan francs from 10,200 shares traded in one deal. Redgwa closed the counter at 125 Rwandan francs, Bank of Kigali at 245 Rwandan francs, Simedgwa at 120 Rwandan francs, MTN Rwanda at 180 Rwandan francs, Equity Bank 440 Rwandan francs, Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs, National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs, Uchuri Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs, and RH Buffalo closed the counter at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed. Currency market review of today. The Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.8 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 9 Rwandan francs. Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.43 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.44 Rwandan francs. The Ugandan shilling buying price was 0.28 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.29 Rwandan francs. Burundian franc buying price was 0.5 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.51 Rwandan francs. The US dollar buying price was 1,004 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,024 Rwandan francs. The British pound buying price was 1,364 Rwandan francs, and the selling price was 1,091 Rwandan francs. The euro buying price was 1,140 Rwandan francs, and the selling price was 1,163 Rwandan francs. Today's weather forecast from the Rwanda Meteorology Department. From 6 p.m. in the evening to midnight, there will be heavy rain and thunderstorms in the Northern Province, Southern Province, Western Province, Kigali City, and Bugesera District, Nyagatare District, and Goma District in the Eastern Province. From midnight tonight until 6 in the morning, heavy rain and thunderstorms are expected in all parts of the country, and an average wind speed of between 4 meters per second and 5 meters per second. With that, we come to the end of tonight's edition.